What up, what up, what up? You know who it is. Back with you once again. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, sticking with me. Hopefully you've been with me on this new and exciting journey. I hit the ground running with a pretty serious topic, mental health. And tonight, I'm going to close this series out, 5th of 5, with mental health and social media. Mental health and social media. So, if you haven't done so already, get your popcorn, get your wine, get your drink, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, because it's going down.
I've been known to get shit blown about it before, shit almost safe. Be careful with your body, put that on ice. I'm not gon' tweet, I'm not gon' play. Whatever you say, okay, alright. You picked your fate, you paid your price. Just know I do not play, alright. I've been known to get shit blown about it before, shit almost safe. Be careful with your body, put that on ice. I'm not gon' tweet, I'm not gon' play. Whatever you say, okay, alright. You picked your fate, you paid your price. Just know I do not play, alright. I've been known to get shit blown about it before, shit almost safe. Be careful with your body, put that on ice. I'm not gon' tweet, I'm not gon' play. Whatever you say, okay, alright. You picked your fate, you paid your price. Just know I do not.
Alright. Good evening. Roger that. How we feeling? How we doing? It's not even midweek. We're almost there. Tomorrow's hump day. Hump day. Do you know what day it is? Do you know what day it is? It is. It's hump day. What we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about mental health and social media. You know, one thing I was thinking about today during my regular work day was that I may want to do a panel forum. So I'm not sure if I could do that on the YouTube live or if I need to go ahead and set up a Zoom. We are talking about social media tonight. So I am subscribed to a group on Facebook, Anxiety and Depression Support Group. And I find that to be a very interesting and helpful outlet. Sometimes you can get very afraid. People really put some crisis calls on social media, and including myself, there's been several times where people have said, you know, I want this to be it. I don't want to go on anymore. Just take my life. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm tired. I'm tired. So tired. What are we tired of? It's an oxymoron that me, someone who suffers from generalized anxiety disorder, I worry about worrying. From the time I wake up and often through my sleep, I worry. So when you see me on Facebook, live, in groups, doing this YouTube channel with you guys right now, it's like, what? The person who worries about everything? I remember my sister telling me she was proud of me because it's something she's been wanting to do, but she's like my son. They're so anxious that they're perfectionists, you know, and I used to feel that way, and I was holding a book for years. And I don't know if it's been this pandemic and sitting down and having more time on my hand, but guess what? I got it all out. The books, the YouTube. Probably told somebody how I really felt about them this year. Like, I'm just, you know, and I do be nervous. Don't get me wrong. I be nervous. I cleaned this hat about 3 times. Wondered about this shirt. Tried to figure out if y'all was going to see the stone missing in the necklace. Wish I would wear my other frame glasses more. These are transitional. Worried about my lighting. And then you know what? I got on to it. I remember when I used to do presentations in college, and I would be just almost throwing up on my way to class, just so nervous, getting up there shaking like a leaf. And they were like, oh my God, you did wonderful. We couldn't even tell. Child, I done died 13 times in front of y'all. How did you not know? Shall we dive in? So, this is where I'm going to go with this one. I started being a kid who became a latchkey kid. And one of the things they used to have in my time was the homework helper line. And I remember calling that homework helper line and doing just that, getting some help with my homework. And more than getting some help with my homework, I remember that homework helper line being a human, a voice on the other line, someone who I had their brief attention and maybe possibly they were concerned about my well-being. And that mattered. Whew, did it matter? And then I grew up and I was a volunteer during my associate's program at this, it was called Contact Crisis Line. And you would get a few crisis calls. I had to divert some suicide calls. Thank you, Jesus, that I was able to get everybody that called to not make that decision. And a lot of times they say when you reach out, you really don't want to do it, but you just never know. And I took it all very serious. But a lot of the calls that we would get during my time volunteering, and some of the other volunteers would say, were just people who needed a connection, needed somebody to hear their voice, needed not even a response or all the time the back and forth, the parallel language. They just wanted somebody to be there, to listen, to have their attention in that moment. And even when I was just recently working in Tennessee, I remember one of the ladies with some mental health issues, she used to call it talk line. It was called the talk line. I was trying to remember the numbers. But all to say that basically we're going to run through the house real quick. I'm going to get some water. So walk with me. It's a little good and frozen too, so that's going to be excellent. But this lady called that talk line probably 3 times a day. And this was in addition to her more than hour-long conversations that she probably had with 6, 7 people in the building, as well as myself during the day. But she just, she thrived off of that. And the other time, you know, she had her emotional support animal, and she had some paintings that she would do. But hands down, she needed that connection. And so that's my caveat to the whole mental health and social media. The positives, my current supervisor would love that right now, because she's getting me where my son always wanted me to be, optimistic, not pessimistic. What we learned in my current position, and it should have been all along, but in social services, a lot of times you're taught to address the problem, see the problem. So the positives, start off with the positives. Social media and mental health. The positive is what I've talked about, just like with those other things, the connections. The ability to connect to people new, people old, people like you, and people unlike you. And for those people who are really afraid of those face-to-face interactions, or maybe limited from those face-to-face interactions, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to reach out and have at least one person, but then sometimes it becomes multiple people that you can reach out to. But what happens when it's too much? What happens when it's overstimulating? What happens when it stops? What? Nobody's responding to me? Nobody liked my comment? Nobody hearted my picture? I knew I wasn't worthy. I'm not enough. Even they don't love me. My life is meaningless. Look, she's going on a date. She's going on a date. She had a baby. She got a new car. My car is broken right now. But she got a new car. My life is horrible. I knew it. I knew it. I'm just suffering over here and everybody else is living. They're so happy. What happened to that positive? What happened? Where did the joy in this moment go? All of a sudden I'm seeing, wait, they're saying negative things about people like me. Wait, they don't like my sexual orientation. Oh no, they'll ban me like the church. What? What am I gonna do? Even strangers are treating me differently. What if I don't log on? What does it say? I wrote some things down earlier. It was actually after I was listening to a sermon. And one of the things about the connection that Pastor Furtick said, Stephen Furtick. Anyway, I can get that information for you down below if you need it. But one of the things he said is, with the connection, we're being fed and it's feeding us. And when that connection dies, then you starve. Or sometimes you get so exposed that it eats your peace alive. You're searching for this peace and this likeness and this understanding and being understood. And all of a sudden, it's eating you alive. And we really don't need to keep asking God for peace. He says we need to ask God for a strategy. A strategy. With everything, there has to be a strategy. I remember my ex-girlfriend used to always tell me I could not watch news on the weekends. Every single day, sometimes several times a day, I would watch various news channels so that I can get as much as I could of everything that was going wrong or going on, which is usually wrong, all around the world. And I was constantly feeding myself worry and fear and uncertainty and inability, unworthiness. I felt so deprived. And, you know, when you see suffering or lack of, you feel proud and joy about the things that you have. But when you see people doing and having way more than you, then you can fall into that nothingness. And when you couple that with a mental illness, it could be catastrophic. So the same thing that can be that outlet and that ray of hope can immediately turn around to become a death trap. Like a death trap. Like, I know people who go beyond being so stimulated that they deactivate. You know, we know those kind. But what about the people who can't even deactivate from it? They keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it to themselves, and then you have something erroneous happening. A suicide attempt, a mass shooting. You know, I've always said, hands down, this country gets it wrong with mental health. This country gets it wrong with mental health. The same fight we have for heart disease, the same fight we have for cancer, the same fight we have for HIV, we need to have that fight for mental health. And we almost need to have that fight even more so, because cancer and its symptoms can often be seen and more understood. When people are at their baseline, you won't see the mental illness. But when it has sprawled out of control, you see the mental illness. But then it's too late. I always say the match theory. Catch the problem at the match, and it won't become a flame. Catch the root of it. If you have to, most of this social media now, they have ability to time yourself or track your usage. And I suggest strongly that people do that, because it can be too much. We're constantly, as humans, and women are the worst, we're scanning people. We're scanning the people that look like us and seeing what they have that we don't, and how they're dressed that we're not, and this and that and this and that. And it's catastrophic. It's catastrophic because we're not here to do this. When we focus on self and we find our strengths and we magnify them and we do what is great and we're reaching out, helping other people. Like, if you're going to use social media, use it as a catapult, like I'm doing right now, to put good energy out, to be about something positive. And for the other times, naturally pull away. It is so funny that I watched that episode, well, I believe I think it's a series on Netflix. It's early and I'm doing that today. Social media. And I'll tell you this, I had got hit up by a study, could be because of my active use, where I'm going to be getting deactivated by them from tomorrow, I believe, until November 3rd. And if you complete all 6 weeks, it's $150. If not, it's $25 for each week. I'm deciding that I may, I'm probably going to go ahead and vote early Thursday, because at first I thought they were trying to be slick, having me deactivated during the major voting day. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll do my voting and have my sticker and post it whenever I'm reactivated, because I'm going to appreciate that time away. Because even me, I watch my friends and family, and I feel some type of way a lot of times, especially when I'm down, especially when, things are not right with me currently. My engine is out. I have to get a new car. That is a very major stressor. I have horrible credit, so it's going to require a hefty down payment, and you have to try to hope they don't put something on you with hella mileage and, the struggle. So I have to be mindful. And being off of social media for these weeks will be a positive for me. But, I found family. My godmother has children and grandchildren, and they had looked for me for years. And do you know, we found each other through Facebook? That means the world to me to be reconnected to them. But it's also had its negatives too. I've also questioned to myself, why does this person get 16, 20 people on their live and I maybe only get 3 or 4? We're so quick to scan and judge, and social media only leads you down that tool or that road that much more. It's a tool, and sometimes we treat it like a lifestyle. Like they said, all these algorithms and I consciously leave my phones in my TV room when I go to bed. Unless I knew something was going on with my son, that's what I do. And that's because I don't want social media to be the first thing I see when I get up in the morning. I want to be able to wake up, thank God, do a quick meditation, read my scripture of the day, daily word. I got the daily bread as well. And right now I'm doing a 30 days of prayer for a woman. You don't tell her. So it's one of my coworkers, and it's like I enjoy that. Like I get so excited about that. I get that good prayer out, and then I get to my phone, and I actually thought I was going to be deactivated today. So excuse me. When I started, I was still on Facebook. So I was like, oh, okay. And then what do you know? You know, just post, or do what you do, and yeah. I talked to, I guess you could say it's my brother's friend, but my brother suffers from schizophrenia, and he's in a mental institution, and his friend also suffers from schizophrenia, but he's not in a mental institution. And he said that he's broken his phone over being frustrated about what's going on in his timeline and his news feed. Just from reading posts, he got so frustrated that he threw and shattered his own phone. Those people didn't say anything to him directly, but it triggered his thoughts so bad that he threw and broke his phone. So the biggest thing I know about my mental health is I have to be intentional about my well-being. I tell people this all the time. You have to fight for your peace and to keep your peace, and be bold enough to stay away from things that disturb your peace, no matter how much you care, love, want to hang out, life of the party, etc., etc., etc. You have to give yourself that pull back and reset time. It's just a must. You have to do it. So that's my take on mental health and social media. Use it as a positive tool. Don't oversaturate yourself with it. Control your peace. Know about your well-being. I get a lot of laughter in. Oh my God, you have to. If you can't see the light, be the light. Find some comedy clips. I talked about in another episode with mental health that, you know, I would share some of those things. Like I watch Medea, another comedian, some more. I love her. I've been watching the Nigerian comedian from Insecure, Yvonne OG. Oh my God. And I'll just watch that over and over again. Boss Baby, you know, weird, goofy stuff. Zootopia, Flash. Hey, Priscilla. Yes, Flash. Boom. You just see what I'm saying? You got your smile in. So, you know, life is hell. And it's sometimes where it gets so freaking dark in your mind. And I tell people all the time, I hide from days with no sun because, you know, I have a coworker that gave me a vitamin D pill. I cannot do it. I have to have that sun and that spark and that opportunity to just shake everything that tries to attack my mind early on. And, you know, working with children, and I haven't touched babies since March. My babies are crawling and walking now, and that is a major stressor for me. This house is empty. It's just me. I want to support animals so bad, but I want to do some traveling first. And I don't want to have to be finding somewhere to put the animal and this and that and the third, you know. Oh, you feel me. So that's part 5. Mental health and social media. I will be moving on to a new topic. Probably come at the end of the weekend. And like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know what you like to hear about. Let me know if you want to hear more about what I said. If you challenge what I said, talk about it down below. Appreciate you riding with me. More great content coming soon.